Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be having a look at BurstAIO, and I've already done my first impressions video. You can go up in one of the corners and click that and have a look what that's like, but today we are going to be reviewing it. And essentially, because I own this bot, I wasn't given it for free or anything, I'm just going to tear it apart. I'm also going to talk about why I bought it, why you should buy it, and also why its price is so low right now. And this is going to be different to my first impressions. If you have not already seen that, go and watch it. There's going to be a little bit of repetition as I take you through the bot, but essentially I'm just going to raise a few different points, and I'm going to be more reviewing it and comparing it in this video. So first of all, as you can see right now, I'm on my dashboard and I have some Offspring tasks. This was because I've absolutely been killing Offspring recently. I'm going to have some photos of success on screen, but I'm not someone who hits Offspring loads. I mean, I used to hit Offspring a lot back in the day when I had Ganesh, but it's not like that anymore. However, with Burst, I've been hitting it again, and it's felt so good. So yeah, this is how many kind of brick Yeezy 700s, the ones on the screen that I hit today. I think that was a good amount. Compared to other bots, it did alright. Now, we're going to move on to tasks. Sometimes it can take you a while to actually find the store you want, and although it has their logo and stuff, it's not perfect. And let me show you an example. So let's say I want to go for JD Sports, right? If I type in JD, it doesn't come up with anything, and this is the same with all mesh sites. If I type in foot patrol, not there. Even if I completely finish it off, nothing. You can do the same with all mesh sites, nothing is there. And you know, this happened to me on a drop when they were restocking stuff, and I was going through this whole list super fast saying, where is it? In fact, it's actually under the name mesh, which makes sense, but when you're looking for JD Sports Foot Patrol, you're not looking for something that says mesh. This is something that did get to me on a drop. There was literally something releasing, and this was one of the problems I had. Now, I do think this will be fairly solvable just when typing in, because they don't need to change this image. They just need to, when you type in Foot Patrol, come up with that mesh thing, right? So I think it's a simple fix. However, that is definitely an issue that I do have, just because it doesn't feel too innovative. It feels fairly kind of linear and basic. Another problem I have is they don't actually support backend yet. Even if I select the store, backend just isn't there, which I do think is a bit disappointing. Now, obviously, it could be added in future, but this may explain one of the kind of price decreases within Burst. Mesh front end's kind of dead. I mean, stuff rarely drops on there, and a backend is pretty much where all the success comes from in my kind of experience. And for a proper mesh bot, or even for Burst to be considered as a mesh bot, it needs to be able to support backend. I mean, you look at bots like Hawk Mesh, and that's pretty much all they do. It's just front end and back end, and it really can make or break a bot. And Mesh does add a lot of value. So I think if they could properly sort out this Mesh module, because it's doing really well doing front end. Don't get me wrong, they've hit stuff like Off-White 5s in the past just with front end, but getting back end really would fix that. So that's what I'm looking for. If Burst could add back end soonish, I would be really happy. Another thing I mentioned in my first impressions, but I still need to bring up again, is their account creation. Now, it works perfectly, but not all the sites that require accounts they have a generator for, which I think is just a little bit poor, because if you're going to provide it and need accounts for it, give the user the solution. And it's not like bots can't do this or anything. Thunder has a courier generator in, so I don't know if they can add this. I think it's really good, and they really should add it, because as you can see here, site, courier, if you're going to have a store like Korea and require accounts for it, you might as well put a generator in. I think that's common sense. Now, I'm going to go back to the profiles page, because I didn't mention this, but there is actually one problem here that I do see with it, and I have had with it just within maybe the few weeks that I've had it, and it is exporting profiles. So I wanted to export one of my profiles into AYCD, and I couldn't see it. I could see save, import, and delete profile, but I couldn't see export. And I figured out to do that, you had to go to settings, and once you're in settings, you had to go to export all settings. This is, from what I can tell, the only way to actually export and get your profiles. Here you go. So I just exported all my profiles, and if I go into here, this is when you see your profiles tab. So you can't actually export your profiles, you have to export all the settings to do this. Now, yes, it doesn't make a difference, it only takes 2 extra seconds, but I feel like it should be improved. Burst does have a fairly high yearly renewal fee, so I just want stuff like this to be improved. And obviously, I don't want this to be seen as complaining. I want to see this more to be seen as constructive criticism, because these are problems I have had as a user, and I'm kind of putting in one video. Now, Burst as a bot, functionally, like I said at the start, is amazing. I'm getting pairs with it. I paid what now is a fairly high price, but at the time I was very happy with, and I still am, if I'm honest, because I could have made my money back if I went super hard on all the shoes I was going for. And as you can see here, It's a really small problem. However, it can be fixed. An extra button just for export profiles wouldn't do any harm, and I think would make the bot better. Now, one question is, why did the price go down? And I want to say manipulators, but a lot of people are telling me that Burst just doesn't have the best modules, and they're not working. Only 2 modules are meant to be working, and they are destroying, in all fairness, Offspring and AW-Lab. Fair shout out to them, because those modules are doing bits. Burst last sold for £317, which I think is an absolute steal. I mean, you look 6 months ago, this bot was going for over £1,000. Due to inflation, hype, whatever, the point is, the bot still has the same developers, and it still has the same potential to go for that price bracket, in my opinion, which was why I bought it. Now, I know the devs at Burst, and I know how hard they are working constantly on the bot, and even adding new support. However, the thing I'm thinking about is I'm comparing Burst at this price point to its competitors, which I see as Thunder and Flare. Thunder literally goes for $3,000, and on this Offspring drop of this shoe, I was running the same proxies in Thunder, literally same. In fact, I was running more tasks in Thunder, and I didn't even get a cart. However, with Burst, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 checkouts. And I didn't check any out because it bricked and whatever, but I was trying it out, and I thought that was really interesting that actually the, $1,000 plus bot didn't get anything, but the £300 bot did. Now, yes, that was one side, that was one drop, that was one example, and Thunder has done bits for me in the past with off-white drops, but Burst has also done well. I don't think this price is a fair reflective at all, and this brings me on to the whole point of off-white drops. Now, in the summer, if you did not know, there is meant to be the 50 coming, a huge pack of dunks coming from off-white, which will be crazy. Dunks are hyped, off-whites are hyped. It's going to be an insane drop, and Burst has proven itself time and time again on off-white that it does really well. If you do not want to get Burst, I recommend buying it just for that. The price is so low now, I don't think it's ever going to go below where it is now, and if it does, it's only going to go up. This is a flagship killer just because of its future and what it's doing right now. This price has never been seen before. I think there are better bots than it. I'm not saying it's at its best right now. However, I do think it's going to come back, and even with the modules it supports right now, I think £300, you can't get anything like this on the market. I mean, it's almost down at Fleek price, and Fleek doesn't even work. So, I mean, how is anyone going to argue that this isn't a brilliant bot to buy right now? Not necessarily for its functionality, but just at this price, I think if you haven't picked up a copy of this bot already, what are you doing? I mean, I bought for higher, right? I want the price of the bot to go up, but you've got to take advantage of this low price point. I don't think an opportunity like this is going to come around again. Now, my question is to you, would you rather buy a bot like Burst at, £300, £400, and maybe it doesn't work for the first few months, or it's a little bit wobbly, but you get a bot that is worth a lot more in the future and you can sell for a profit? Or would you prefer a bot that you buy now for a lot more, so you don't have as much money to spend on shoes, but you either put a lot of money down and hit right now, or small amount now, which I don't think is too much harm. I think £300, £400 is fair to spend on a bot that is still working, just not what it used to be. And I think Burst Legacy has really hurt it there because it had high expectations and it hasn't met them. And I think this has caused the price to drop. I don't think Burst is trash. A lot of people are saying Burst is rubbish. It's so cheap right now. The tables have turned, and even for what people are calling trash right now, it's performing incredibly. Now, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I'm saying this bot right now is performing Offspring-wise almost at the same level as Flare. It just needs more active running users, but its success is incredible. Now, one thing I'm asking myself is what needs to happen for Burst to come back to that price point that it once was, and I think it all comes down to the amount of drops that are happening. Drops recently have been poor. Like I said, Yeezys like this that look terrible, and the Jordan 1's just not performing what they used to. I don't know what's happening to this whole sneaker market, because I don't even feel like it's the bot's fault at this point. I just think drops have been poor, and it hasn't been able to prove itself that, even for the sites that it does fully and, absolutely kill, there's just not enough profit in it. Shoes are really dying at the moment, and I don't know what's really going to come back and revive it. That's why I'm hoping this summer the Off-White 50 collection will redeem Burst and show that it's worthy of a big price tag, because I'm looking to make a profit on this as well. I'm going to be totally honest about my, concerns with Burst. Currently I'm losing money by owning this. I think the bot should be worth more. Like I said, I've hit with it and it's been easy. And I was on a losing streak, and Burst has turned that around for me. And more is coming. It did hit WoodWood for the ambush dunks, which I think was pretty good. But when it comes down to actually price and comparing it to others, I don't get it. It needs more people to believe in it. it needs more modules to work, or allegedly work. I mean, I haven't needed any other modules, if I'm perfectly honest, than Office, Offspring, all that, which seems to be working well. And yeah, for me, just working on those 2 sites alone, if I know whenever there's a drop I can hit using it, I'm happy. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you guys have enjoyed, please do let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in another video.